Okay, good morning. So last session I explained about what are yeah we discussed about what are the software requirements and how we can set up environment uh, environment for building web application. We have to install three things. What are those? Install Node.js and install editor. Editor is we are using Visual Studio Code, and we need some plugins. Plugins are nothing but extensions. So we need the plugins like
Recording in progress.
VS Code icons, VS Code icons, and live server, and additionally you can get IntelliSense for CSS class names. That's the extension you need. Everyone done that, huh? Able to do it, right? Yes. Right. So everyone successfully done this and configured that. Then next step, now what we have to do is, now we need to learn after setting up all the environment. Today we are going to see how to create a new web application. How do we create a new web application? How do we create a new web application? Yesterday we discussed about the differences. So yesterday we discussed about the differences between what is website, what is web application, web application, blogs, wikis, podcasting, and widgets. Those are the basic things we learned already. Now, after understanding that, we are going to build web applications. So technically, web application, already I told you that it is a combination of both backend and front end. Websites will be only front end. Web application will be both front end and back end. We are going to build a complete web application here. So to create a web application, what we have to do is, first step, we have to create a new folder on your PC. You have to create a new folder on your PC for project. You have to create a new folder on your PC for project. Anywhere, C drive, D drive, E drive, anywhere, but avoid desktop, because you people usually have your Windows operating system, and if you don't have proper admin permissions, you cannot install libraries on desktop. Desktop is not good for installing libraries and all. So avoid creating a folder on desktop, right? Use C drive, D drive, or some other location. In that location, you create a project folder. You create a folder for your project. It can be any name. It can be any name. You can give any name for the project. Suppose in my computer, I will check what are the existing folders I am having. So here, yeah, I will create a folder here. Yeah, open your PC, the file explorer, and go to any drive. I'm going to some C drive or D drive and create a new folder. You will find a new folder button. You click new folder and name the folder name. Any name for that folder. I am giving as a web development, something like this. So web development, or say web application, and full stack web application. I'm giving that name, full stack web application, because I already have so many folders. I given a unique name for that. That means you create a new folder here, full stack web application. That is the name I given for this. You have to create a new folder on your PC for the project. Already we discussed in the last session, every website contains two locations, virtual path and physical. This is the physical path. That means website related all resources are kept in this physical path. As a developer, whatever we need for website, we have to keep everything in this location. So this is the physical path. So we can call this as physical path. Physical path. This is the physical path of our project. This is the physical path of web application. So we created a new folder on the PC, and I given the name as full stack web application. Avoid using spaces for folder names. Whenever you give the folder names, make sure that a continuous name or a hyphen separated, because later while referring, when you are referring them in your project, spaces will create a lot of issues. So to avoid that, use this reference. So next step, after creating a new folder, second point, now open Visual Studio Code. You have to open Visual Studio Code. Then go to File menu. In the File menu, you have to select. In the File menu, you have to select Open Folder. Open Folder. And there you have to select your folder, C:/full stack web development web application, full stack web application. This is the folder. So you have to open that folder in Visual Studio Code. You have to do that. So first we created an application related folder is ready, and now we need to open that folder in Visual Studio Code. So let's open Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is our editor. We are going to build everything through that Visual Studio Code. Open in your computer Visual Studio Code. This is the Visual Studio Code. And after opening this Visual Studio Code, this is Visual Studio Code. Yesterday I asked you to install some plugins here. Generally, Visual Studio Code home screen looks in this way. Visual Studio Code home screen looks like that. So let's close this. Yeah. This is the Visual Studio Code home screen actually. What you have to do is, actually there is a button called Open Folder. Directly you can click that Open Folder on home screen, or you can go to File menu and select option Open Folder. In this Open Folder, you have to select your project folder. Our project folder is in C drive, and in that it is full stack web application. That is the folder, and select that folder. You can see that folder opens here. So this is empty. Currently we don't have anything inside this folder. That means we just created an empty folder for project and we opened in Visual Studio Code. Still it is not a web application. It is just an folder. It's not an web application. So what we have to do now here to configure as a web application? First step, after opening this folder, that means you have to go to, you have to open terminal. You need to open the terminal. We need to open the terminal. Yeah. Here you have to open terminal. Terminal. Open terminal. Actually, terminal is nothing but terminal is a tool which provides a command prompt from where you can run the commands required for this particular project. For project, we need to run some commands, and to run the commands, we don't need to go to separate command prompt again. We can go, but we can directly open everything inside the terminal and we can use it. So you have to open terminal. Shortcut to open terminal is control plus back tick. You have to use back tick. That is actually back tick. That symbol is back tick. We call that symbol as back tick. On your keyboard, you will have a tilde symbol. On that tilde symbol, you will have that back tick symbol also. You have to use that back tick. Back tick. So control back tick is used to open terminal. Shortcut. It is used to open terminal. That means you can do another way. What you can do is, otherwise you can go to terminal menu. You can go to terminal menu and you can select new terminal. You can do either. So you can use the shortcut. You can use the simple shortcut terminal, control backtick, or you go to terminal menu and select new terminal. So see here, go to the project location, open terminal here. In the terminal menu, at the top you will find the terminal menu, and you select new terminal. We are selecting new terminal. The terminal will open here. This is the terminal. This is the terminal. Actually, this is nothing but command prompt only. You can directly go to command prompt and do that. But we already learned that we are using editor to keep everything unified at one place, so that we will not switch between the tools. We will use only one editor for everything. Then better always keep this, right? So open the terminal. We have backtick as shortcut for that, control backtick. After opening the terminal, very important, see, this is where majority of people face the problem. I am explaining clearly. Observe what happens generally when you are practicing. When you open terminal, generally when you open the terminal, actually it will open with PS. This is called PowerShell. Don't use this PowerShell because that PowerShell is incompletely installed in some of your PCs. You have to separately install Windows PowerShell. And here, when you run the commands, then you will face problem. They will not execute properly because it is incomplete installation. That means PowerShell will be like this. You will have PS and you will have your prompt same. That means C:/ your project name, everything will be there. But make sure that it is not in PowerShell. For example, I will show you here. So in this, observe carefully, right side corner here, you can see in the right side corner, you can observe. Yeah, you can see here. You can see I am having CMD. CMD is command prompt. And click on this down arrow. When I click on that down arrow, you will see there will be PowerShell. There will be PowerShell and command prompt. So many are there. In this, these two are important. Sometimes you will have PowerShell. So when you have PowerShell, you can see here, it will get like this, PS. If you got this PS, avoid that. Don't use this PS. don't use that PowerShell. What you have to do is you should not use the PowerShell. You should change that PowerShell to command prompt. Change that PowerShell to command prompt. So how to change to command prompt? Just now you saw where to change. Click here. Again select option. What is it? Command prompt. Command prompt. And you can see now command prompt will be directly like this. So if you are working with PowerShell, switch to command prompt. So this is the first step you have to do. So what you need to do is note here. If your terminal launch, or you say if your terminal opens with PowerShell, PS is PowerShell. If it opens with PowerShell, if your terminal opens with PowerShell, then switch to command prompt, CMD, that is command prompt. Switch to command prompt. This is important. If your terminal opens in PowerShell, switch to command prompt. You have to switch to the command prompt. Once you switch it to command prompt, that means the command prompt looks like this: C:/full stack web application. Full stack web application. It looks like this. Now what you have to do is, once you have this command prompt, you have to type the following command. You have to type the following command. So the command is at the terminal. You don't need to type that greater than symbol, right? That is just terminal. I am showing that. There you have to type the command called npm hyphen, so npm space init hyphen y. This is the command you have to run. This is the command you have to run. npm init hyphen y. Actually, npm is node package manager. Init is initialization of project, and hyphen y is a flag which is used to accept all prompt, or you can simply say that accept all project metadata. That is what high indicates. Y indicates. I will show you that what is the point here. You have to run the command. You have to run the command npm init hyphen y. Now, what is this command and what it is going to do? What is the command and what it is going to do? Let's see. Actually, in the terminal, this is the terminal. This is the terminal. We opened this terminal. Now, in this terminal, we have to run the command. I have to just run the command as npm space init hyphen y. These commands are case sensitive. Capitalization matters. So always follow the same capitalization that I have given here, because sometimes few are uppercase, few are lowercase. You have to follow the capitalization correctly. So capitalization matters. Spaces, capitalization, everything you have to configure correctly. Now, when I use npm init hyphen y, now what it is going to do is, it is going to create a file called, what will happen is, this will generate a file, a new file. This will generate a new file, package.json. It will generate a new file called package.json. What is that package JSON? I will explain. We will discuss about that. When you run the command npm init -y, it is going to generate a file package JSON. You can see that now. I will go here and hit enter, and you can see that it will generate some content here. It will generate some content here. And you can see that when you execute this command, go to your project location now. In the left side, you see this is the left side menu here. This is your file explorer. That means what files are present in your current project. You can watch them by clicking on that. You can switch between that. You just click on that button. It will show you in your project by default, you have a file called package.json. By default, a file is generated and that file is package.json. So technically, for generating that package JSON, we used the command npm init. What is this package JSON? This is very important to understand. Actually, I will show you that point, right? So see here, the question here, what is package.json? What is package.json? What is this file? What it contains? Why we need this actually? Remember, package.json is nothing but, so it comprises of project metadata. It comprises of project metadata. Metadata means metadata contains information about your project, which includes details like, you will have details like project name, which includes details like project name. It includes details like its version. It includes details like its author. It includes details like its license. It includes details like dependencies. What are dependencies? I will tell you, right? So it contains information about so many other things which you will learn in later stage. This is too early to discuss about package JSON. Your level is not up to that point currently. So just you need to know that it contains information about project. What information? I will show you in the later stages, step by step, we will discuss about that. That means here, the point is, suppose somebody developed a project, somebody developed an application. Online, you can see so many people design projects and upload them so that you can download those projects and you can practice and use them. Now, somebody developed a project and he given you that project. As a developer, you cannot directly run that project on your computer, because in that project, he may be using so many libraries which are not available on your PC. That means any project that you got from some external source, you cannot directly start working with that project on your PC because you don't have that environment ready. As a developer, how do I know what I need for this project? Somebody given me a project. How do I know what are the requirements for this project? What libraries I need, which version I need? All such information we can get from this file, package JSON. That means package JSON, as a developer, first we will open this package JSON and we will see what they are using. That means which libraries they are using, which version they are using, and we will check whether those are available in our PC or not. They are available in our PC. Later, we will learn how to install all those packages which are required for us. So initially, it contains lot of details. That means when you are developing a project, project related information is kept in a file called package.json. Once this file is generated, now this folder becomes an official web application. Once this file is generated, before the file is generated, it is an ordinary folder. Once this file is generated, now this is a professional web application. Professional web application. You see now, I will click on that package JSON. Actually, here JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. Object notation. JavaScript object notation. Actually, JSON is a format used for representing data. It is a format used for representing the data. There are so many formats like XML, plain text, and JSON and all. So JSON is a format used for representing the data. Here JSON is used for representing metadata. That means actually JSON format looks like this. JSON format looks like this. In a curly brace, you will have like project name and colon and its name, like full stack. What is it? Full stack web application, like this. That is the JSON format. Comma, it will have like some version. So version, and it will contain 1.0, like that. It will contain like author, and it will contain information like some Naresh I technology, something like this. So it contains information about license like some MIT license. This is how that data contains. This is a format of presenting the data, which contains a key and a value. We have a key and value. That means left side key and right side value. That means project name, version. This format is called JSON. You will learn about this format and work with this format when you are learning your JavaScript concept. Initially, you don't need to worry about that. You need to just understand that it is a format used for presenting the data. And you can see now, you can observe here. This is just only the rough format I given to you. You can see now, open this package JSON. Click on that package JSON. When we click on package JSON, you can see that information comes like this. This is the details we are having. In the package JSON file, right side you can see the content opened, and it is in a JSON format. It have like project name, its version, its description, some other details. These are not necessary for you as of now, right? Gradually you will learn about all these points one by one. As of now, remember, this file keeps on updating automatically. This keeps on updating automatically. For example, you installed some extra library for project. It will automatically update about that library, which version and everything. So initially it have few details. Later several more details will come into this file according to your development process. When you are building application, this file keeps on changing. It keeps on updating with new details, right? Initially, this is package JSON file. For example, if you want to make some modifications, you can do directly here. That means if you want to change your project name, if you want to change the version number, you want to change the description, you can directly type here. So it is a full stack web application. Some description I am giving. And you can simply save it. Control S shortcut for save, or you can go to file menu and select save. So you can configure these details. Remember, actually, I asked you to use a flag called -y. I asked you to use a flag called -y. If I don't use -y, then it will ask all these questions one by one to us. That means it will ask what should be project name. It will ask what should be the author name. What are the keywords? What is description? Let's see. I will open this terminal again. Open this terminal again. You can see in the terminal. So this is the terminal. In this terminal, I will run that command here again. npm init initialize. I am not using -y flag. I am just using enter. Then when I press enter, now you can see it is asking a sequence of questions now. It is asking a sequence of questions. You see, it says that what should be the package name. Package name means what should be the project name. In the braces parenthesis, you can see by default one name it is taken. If you want to change, you can change it. That means I will change the package name. I will say full stack project, something like this. After giving a name, hit enter. Then it will ask second question. It says that, so capital letters, don't use capital letters. I am using full stack project. Okay. Next step, it is asking which version you want. What is the version of your project? So version, it is there 1.0. I can give another version, because when you are developing multiple versions, you can name the version for your application. But you are in the very beginning level. You don't know how to give version numbers. You don't know how to give the project names. You don't know how to keep the startup. That's the reason I said ignore this. That is the reason you say -y. Because to give a version number, we need to follow certain rules. You cannot simply give version number. You have to follow certain rules. You should first know why version number is having 3 numbers. What first number represent, what second number represent, what third number represents. There are so many things. That is the reason, because you are in the very beginning level. So starting with version number for project is too much for you. That is the reason, ignore this. So what you have to do, Control C will terminate. Terminate means it is cancelled, because already it is generated for us. It is already present. Actually, if I don't use -y, then it will ask all these questions, so which are not suitable for us in the current situation. At the end of web development, you will get answers for this, not in the between also, at the end. That means finally you finish web designing and you learned everything about web development, then you will understand these points. That is the reason, till that moment, leave it. So you just ignore that. That file will be generated automatically. I cancelled that, right? So for that, what is the command to execute? So we have to run this command. What is the command we have to run? npm init -y. Okay. Now it generates a file called package.json. What package.json contains? Package.json contains, in simple terms, package.json contains metadata, right? Package.json contains metadata. Metadata about whom? Metadata about the project. Project related metadata is present in that file. Okay, ready. So we have package.json file. Okay, next step. Generally, when you are building a project, every project will have a certain standard infrastructure. You have to maintain that infrastructure correctly as per the standards. See, many people who are learning web development or some web designing from some websites or somewhere, YouTube and all, generally when we talk about certain standards, they cannot understand those standards. Suppose if I say, for example, everything is as per the standards, I will tell you a small point. For example, I opened this Amazon website. This is Amazon website. You can see in this Amazon website, you see Amazon website. Currently, there is a banner here. Some banner is here. And so many banner is there. Observe carefully. Currently for this Amazon website, the entire color, Great Indian Festival, that is live now. It is using background color, some orange and yellow. Now the question is, why orange and yellow? Why not red? Why not green? Why not blue? Why not something else? For an ordinary person, that is out of reach. He don't know, because he thinks that generally, if I ask you also, you will say that it looks beautiful. Only this color is beautiful, huh? Right? So web development is not about all these appearances. It is about expression. The point here is actually this color indicates sunset and sunrise. Am I right? This color represents sunset and sunrise. Generally, how much time sunset and sunrise happens? Duration. That means the duration of sunset and sunrise, set time and rise time, it will be with only few minutes. That means 3-4 minutes. In 3-4 minutes, rise finish, and 3-4 minutes, sunset finish. That means this color indicates that this offer is not going to be for a longer time. Understood? That means so much is there in the background of even which color they are using. For every color also we have a meaning. And what is difference between you and White Hat Junior coding? White Hat Junior coding, school people coding. They put whatever color they want, right? But as a real world developer, we are not W3 schools or White Hat Junior. So we are more than that. We have to follow standards. That means even while giving a color, you have to tell the client why you are using that color. You have to have a reason for using that color. And we have to change accordingly. So that is the difference between ordinary learner of HTML and professional web developers. You cannot put anything whatever you like. You have to follow certain standards. Somebody will come and ask like, why can't I put any color? You can put any color, don't care. But as per the standards, we should follow certain standards even for color. For example, you see the supermarket websites. They always have majority greenish color. Green. Food websites and supermarket websites, they use green color. That is the standard. That means you have to use them. That means everything have certain standards for every color that they are using. It's not like how beautiful it is to appear. It is as per the standards. That is the reason web development is not so simple as you think. It is not hard. I am saying that it is easy, but it is not simple. It is complex. Complex means you have to consider so many things in designing a page. You cannot blindly put a color because you like it. You cannot blindly put a font because you like it. They have to follow certain standards. So that is the reason when we are building an application according to the project standards, every project contains 2 important folders. See here at the top, you can see here 3 buttons are there. One button is new file. Another button is new folder. Another button is refresh. And this is collapse. That is collapse that window. You create a new folder now. Click on new folder button. You click on new folder button. This is new folder. And as per the project standards, every project must have a folder called public. Public is the name of the folder. Now, as per the project standards, some more I will give here. We have created a folder called public. And Next point, what you have to do is click outside. Don't keep this selected. If you keep that selected, next whatever you are adding, it will add inside it. It will add inside it. So click outside. Why I am explaining so much detailly? Because this is regular problem for freshers, right? When people come with learning web technologies as a fresher, these are basic mistakes they do. They will say that, sir, I am creating a file, it is going into public folder, because you have to know where to click, which one to select. These are all very basic things. So you click outside this now and select another folder, another new folder, and put the name as SRC. As of now, later several more folders will come. As of now, generally when you are developing a project, in every project, so what we have to do, add following folders into project. One folder is public, another folder is SRC. What is the role and responsibility of these two folders? That means what is standardization, standards? Actually, public folder, it is a folder, it is a repository. Repository means a collection of all the files. It is a repository of static resources. It is a repository of static resources. What are static resources? I will explain now. We will detailedly discuss about that. So public contains all static resources like HTML files, like we have text files, like PDF files, like images. All these things comes under static repository. This all comes under static repository. That means in a project, all the static files must be kept in a folder called public. It's mandatory. That means if you look at any professional web project, every professional web project contains a folder called public. And what you have to expect in that public, you need to keep all the static resources. What are static resources? We will discuss now. We will discuss that point detailedly, static and dynamic and all. Another important, SRC. It is a repository. It is a repository of dynamic resources. Repository of dynamic resources like .css, .scss, .js, like this. .ts, this is dynamic resources. It is a repository of dynamic resources. So whenever we are developing a professional web application, as per the standards, every web application must contain two important folders. One is public, another one SRC. Public contains all static resources and SRC contains all dynamic resources. What is difference between static and dynamic? We are going to discuss. We will learn about that. So these two folders are ready. Now another important point. After the folders are ready, I am just showing you initial concept. Then we will detailedly discuss about that. After creating that project, you see the project is ready with the folders. Now create, so add index.html file into public folder. What is HTML? What are HTML files? We will discuss all detailedly now. We will learn about that. Remember, here you have to note that every project starts with a file. Every project starts with a file called index.html. So index.html is nothing but it is the startup file. It is the startup page, you can say. It is the startup page. That means whenever you open a website, by default, whatever you see on the screen, that is coming from a file called index.html. Every project must have a file called index.html. Remember, so many points are there. That means many times people ask, can I use any another file? Can I start with any another file? You can start with any another file. But we are discussing about standards. As per the standards, every project will start with a file called index. For example, see, suppose you are opening here some amazon.in. When I open amazon.in, I am not asking for any page. I am just using the domain www.amazon.in. When I request it, by default, a screen comes onto the page in the browser. This page that you are watching is index page. This is the result of index page. That means every website starts with a page called index. Some websites will specifically show you that index.html. Now, some websites will not show that. So wherever you open, suppose I am opening some website, tutorialpoint.com. When I open tutorialpoint.com, you can see it comes with an index page, and you see by default it is coming with index.html. What is HTML? We will discuss. Both are HTML only. You see, I am not requesting index.html. I am requesting only tutorialpoint.com and enter. Automatically index will come there. Some websites will show you that. Some websites will not show you the page name. That means whenever you start a website, by default website or application, everyone starts with a file called index. And where we have to keep this index? Index is always kept in which location? Public folder. It is always kept in public folder. So open your project now. Go to public folder. This is the public folder. Select that public folder and add a new file. Click new file button. Now in this we will give index.html. So what is HTML? What are extensions for HTML? We are going to learn in the next level. Currently we are setting up the infrastructure. Now this is index.html page. In this index.html page, currently we don't know any coding. No need. Just type whatever you want. Welcome to full stack web development. I am just writing some message. That's it. I am writing some message, just plain text. I am not using any code. You don't need that as of now. You just write whatever you want. This is index page. Now start your project. Once the page is ready, we have to test it. That means we have to run this and we have to test it. Then right click in the page. Where to test it? We have to test on a server. Right click in that here. Right click. And there will be an option called open with live server. You have to select that open with live server. Right click inside the page and select open with live server. That means it will start with live server. When you select open with live server, automatically it will open a browser, and in the browser it will display the page. By default it comes with your page. That means now your web application is working fine. But we are not using any coding here. We are not using any language here. We just written some plain text and displayed that. We will use the language. Now we have to learn the language for this. So technically now your website is running. You can see your website is running. And it is have index.html. The website is running and it is having index.html. I will show you one more basic thing here. let me give you this point in the note. So what you have to do, so go to index.html and add some text. So just I given welcome to web development, something, add some text here. Next, what we have to do, right click in the page, index.html and select the option. You have to select the option open with the live server. You have to select that. In order to start your page and you see how the output looks like, you have to right click in the page index.html. And remember, you will not get that open with live server if you haven't installed live server. I told you yesterday to install live server. Yesterday we learned 3 plugins, live server plugin, another one Visual Studio Code Icons plugin and IntelliSense plugin, right? If you have installed live server plugin, then only this option will be available. Right click, open with live server. This is the project. That means our project ready. That means our project is started. So with a index file called index.html. But so many technical things are there behind this to understand. I just showed you a sample environment first. And here lot of technical concepts are there we need to learn, right? We will discuss detailedly about all these points now, right? Observe carefully. You remembered before this, yesterday, so we discussed about how to create an application on a local server called IIS. And we created a website, if you remembered. What is the URL for that website? We created a virtual directory in a website. http:// what is it? 127.0.0.1/ what is the name we given? Netflix. And I hit enter. When I say Netflix and hit enter, it says there is no content inside it. It says there is no content inside it. Already we know, yesterday we saw that we can access the images, we can access the document. But as I told you, every website will start with the index page. Website will start with index page. Let's see that. I will open Notepad. Here I will type here, welcome to Netflix, like this. Netflix, suppose some online movies, something like this. And I will save this. In the physical path of that website. What is the physical path we created? In C drive, Netflix, in that Netflix, directly in that Netflix, I am creating a file name index.html. Because generally text documents will have extension .txt. I am giving index.html. That means save. Now our website is having an index page. And observe carefully, when I refresh this URL, automatically the index page will come. And you can see that I am not requesting that index page. I am not using index.html. You saw this difference earlier, Amazon and tutorials point. In tutorials point, you have seen that index.html was coming. And in Amazon, nothing, but by default, one screen was coming. And that screen comes from which page? Index page. That means the page that you watch, that is index page. That means, for example, in reality, suppose we are typing netflix.com, then you will get the Netflix screen. That means actually that Netflix screen is coming from these people. Who is this? Yeah, this Netflix screen comes from this index page. I am not having any index.html. Same like that we created here. But some websites are not like that. Some websites will give you index.html. Some websites directly come. That means whatever the first page that comes to you, that is index page. Index page. So professionally, remember, if you have some other name for website, it will not start. It will not start. For example, let's see here. Let's see here. Initially, observe carefully. I will go to C drive and Netflix, that is the physical path. In that there is a file called index. I will change the name from index to login. Index to login. It is a HTML file only. It is HTML file only. I change it to login, or I will change it to home, something. I change it to login or home. And once you change it and you refresh this and see now, it says that I cannot. That means there can be hundreds of pages in your website, but website will start with only one page, and its name also very important. And it matters with the name. If there is no index.html, it can't start. Then you have to manually write the path for starting any another page. You can start with any another page, but you have to manually configure it. By default, every server is configured in such a way that it will start with a page called index. If it is unable to find that page, it will not. That means you have to request that page. Observe carefully here. We have to request that page. What is the page we are having? Home. That means we have to request home.what.html, and it will get that home page. But without requesting a page, because how do I know which page you are having? How do I know which page you are having in your website? I don't know about that. In that case, you must throw some page by default, and that is index. Now let's go to the project location here. And in that project location, let's rename this file again. I will rename this file again as what? Index. Rename that as index.html. Okay, now once refresh here, now it is able to start. This is very important. So in a project, you have to configure that index.html. This is the basic infrastructure. That means we learned how to create an project, how to configure it as an web application by running the command npm init. We added 2 folders as per the basic structure, but src folder is empty. We haven't kept anything inside it because we don't have anything currently. So what is difference between public and src? Public contains all static resources. src contains all dynamic resources, and every application, web application, starts with one page. What is it? Index.html. Professionally, where we keep that? In public folder. Now once you know these points, basically this, up to this you can try in general. Now we will go technically. First step, as a developer, after understanding this infrastructure, that means every day we will work in this environment. That means first you need to understand the concept. What is a web page? This is the key point. What is a web page? Already I told you, website is not a collection of web pages. We proved that wrong also, right? Website is not collection of web pages. We proved that wrong. We have seen that process, how it happens. So website is not collection of web pages. Website is collection of resources. And how anyone can access the resources? For that we need to create a UI, user interface. That means web page, it is a hypertext document. It is a hypertext document that provides an UI for interacting with the resources in application. What is the meaning of hypertext document? Explained already. We discussed about that. Hyper means beyond, right? Beyond. So web page is nothing but it is an hypertext document. It provides an UI for interacting with the resources in application. So that means, for example, here I will show you a simple point here. A small diagram form here I will just show here. For example, this is actually, we have a web server. We generally have a web server. In this web server, we have a website. In this website, we have some resources. Resources like we have a pic.jpg and a doc.pdf. Some files are present. Some resources are present in that website. And what happens now is, as a client, I want to access these resources. That means this is the client. Client is the user. So this is the client. So user. Now I want to access these resources. If I have to access these resources, I should know the name of those resources. I should know the name of those resources. So which file you want, the file name, path, correctly you have to configure. But we don't know about that. Then what happens is, this website will provide a document. That website will provide a document. That means it provides a document. That document contains user interface. In the user interface, it contains like view pic. So it contains like view document. Now, very important is, these are provided something like links. These are provided as links. Now what user will do is, user will click on that particular link, then it will get this particular file and it will open. That means this is a document that providing an interface in order to interact with the resources. And this document is called as what? Web page. For example, I will show you here. Suppose this is Netflix homepage. I am having some resources here. Already we kept some resources. I showed you in the last session. So we have a folder called what? Images. In images, we have netflixback.jpg. If I request that, it is going to access that photo directly. And I have a document. And for that, I need to request the path like this: netflix/docs/cssdemo.pdf. It is a PDF document. It opens that PDF document here. But if I forget the path, I misspelled that spelling of that particular file, you can't open. That means something I given some wrong name for the file and hit enter, then it cannot open. It simply says not found. That is the reason we cannot know what resources are kept inside that location. So that is the reason what we have to do now. See, I will go to the index page. Let's open the index page of that particular project. In that index page, you see now, don't worry about what code I am writing, just see the concept. Now what I am doing here, I am creating a link. So I say, so Netflix background. And here I am writing, so href is equal to images/netflixback.jpg. And here I will put a span here. Okay. And I will just keep another one. Don't worry about what is the code I am writing, just see the concept. So docs, here we have css demo.pdf and say css tutorial. Because you are going to learn all this in the later stage, I will save this. Now see, now we have a proper UI for our website. Now see what happens. When I request netflix.com, that Netflix and hit enter, index page comes. In that index page, we have two links. One is Netflix background, another one CSS tutorial. And user will just click on it. It will get that and show. User will click on this. It will get that and it will display. It will display. That means you are creating a user interface to interact with the resources inside the website. And that user interface, this document is called as web page. It is a hypertext document. Why it is called hypertext document? I told you. That means it has the content beyond what you see. Beyond what you see. Hyper means beyond. That means it contains the content beyond what you see, and you can get it when you click on it. You click on that. So this is technically web page. Technically we call as a web page. So web page is a hypertext document. And web pages are classified into, actually web pages are classified into two types. We have static page and we have dynamic page. We have static pages and dynamic pages. The web pages are classified into two types. We have static page and dynamic page. Now you need to understand the concept of static and dynamic. That means what is difference between a static page and dynamic page. Let's see one basic thing. Static and dynamic pages. Simple point I will explain, because technical points you will see in the level by level later, right? Initially, see, as a software developer, you should know that any technology in the world, whether it may be Java, .NET, PHP, Python, anywhere in computer technologies, the word static and the word dynamic, or people call as non-static. These two terms are related to memory. In computing technologies, the word static and dynamic represents memory. They are related to memory. So actually, static memory and we will have dynamic memory. The word static and dynamic, these two are related to memories. Technically, what is static memory? What is dynamic memory? Professionally, static and dynamic memory. Static is continuous memory. And the dynamic is discrete memory. What is it? I will tell you. This is professional. See, for a general ordinary learners of technology, if you ask what is static, what is dynamic, he will tell so many fairy tales, stories about static and dynamic. By hearing those stories itself, we can tell that he is fresher. He don't know technically. Any technician, software technician, when you ask him what is static and dynamic, and if he doesn't know about these two terms, continuous memory and discrete memory, that means he don't know about static and dynamic correctly. Architecturally, at high level, static is continuous memory and dynamic is discrete memory. If you ask this question to any Java developer, .NET developer, he will tell so many stories. Like static means it is having, you can access it by class name. Non-static means you have to access by using instance. If you hear this sentence, push him aside. That means he is fresher. Go. Why? Because you cannot say that I will access by class name, it is static. These are all very basic level things. Professionally, static and dynamic means continuous memory and discrete. Let's prove that. Let's prove that concept. What is static and dynamic memory? See, actually, suppose these two are the memories, because if you don't understand this concept, you cannot understand what is static page and dynamic page. First point, suppose we have a component. In this component, we have two values actually. Static, one is static value S is 0 and non-static N is also 0. Now what happens is, for static member, memory is allocated S equal to 0, and here we are using S equal to S plus 1. That means S value is increased by 1. Okay. Similarly, N value is allocated into dynamic memory 0, and here also N is equal to N plus 1. So N is equal to N plus 1. This is dynamic. That means a component contains two members, one static member, another one dynamic member. Static and dynamic member, both are increased by 1. Both are increased by 1. Now see what happens here. I am showing in a technical way. Just observe the concept. See, I am creating an object, object 1. So this object is created for this component. For this component, we are creating object 1. It will use this S and N. Then what happens is, S value will be set to 0 plus 1. That means it will be how much? 1. After that, it will use, this obj will use N equal to 0 plus 1. This also how much? 1. 1. Now what happens is, after that object 1 has used S equal to 1, then what it will do is, after modifying S1, it will continue that for others also. That means this memory will continue for other objects. That means you have created another object, object 2. Now when object 2 is created for the same component and it is trying to use this S, then S is not 0 now. It will continue with how much? 1. That means the memory allocated for first object, that will continue for others. That is called continuous memory. Static means continuous memory. Let's prove this. Let's see that point. Discrete memory means it finished using N. After it finished using N, it will reset that memory. It will reset the memory. That means when second object goes and uses N, for second object, for first object S will be how much? 1 plus 1 will be how much? 2. But for N value, it will be again 0 plus 1. How much? 1. That means every time N value will be 1 only. For every object, N value will be 1. But static is continuing. Static is continuous memory and non-static is discrete memory, disconnected memory. Let's prove this point. I am writing some computer programming. You don't worry. Just see that, right? So because you can't understand these programs, I will just show you the concept here. I am writing a program here. Observe carefully. Class demo. In that I have static S is equal to 0 and N is equal to 0. 0. I defined a constructor here and I am defining some demo.s is equal to demo.s plus 1 and this dot n is equal to this dot n plus 1. And we have a print method which is printing the details, console.log, and I am printing the s value. S is equal to the value of demo.s and n is equal to the value this. Yeah. So this dot n. Okay, we are printing the details. Now see here, I am creating obj1 is equal to new demo. Through that obj1 I am printing here. Similarly, I will print obj2 is equal to new demo, and second object send obj2 dot print. Similarly, I am creating obj3 is equal to new demo. Three objects are created for the same component. One is using static, another one using non-static, right? Now see here, when I run this program, observe carefully. You don't worry about all this logic. Just observe the concept, right? That is important for you. I am compiling this program. You can see tsc demo.ts. Okay. And here I am compiling here node demo.js. You can see s value is 1, 2, 3, but n value is always 1. N value is always 1. That means the first object used that static memory, and that static memory is continuing for second and third. And non-static means it is discrete. Discrete means first object finished cleanup, second object finished cleanup. For every object, the memory is newly allocated. That means static stands for continuous memory. Non-static stands for discrete memory. This is experience people answer. You tell story, you are a fresher. You tell that it is accessed by class name, because Java, .NET, all these people, if you ask what is static and non-static, first answer you will hear that static is accessible by class names, or non-static is accessible by using instance. If you hear this, he is fresher. He is fresher, right? Technicians, software architects know this background architecture, and they have to use the terms continuous and discrete. This is very important, because without understanding this basic architecture, you can't tell what is a static page and dynamic page, right? For example, now very important point is, as a software developer, I will explain the correct real-time scenario. For example, as a software developer, suppose we are having an application. We are having an application, and we are having, suppose, an application, and we are having a database. We are having a database. Generally, what we want here, we have some objects: insert object, update object, and delete object. Update and delete object. Insert object have to insert a record into database. Update has to modify. Delete have to remove. But before inserting, updating, deleting, first they have to connect to database. That means before inserting, updating, they have to connect to database. Connection is important. Now, as a software developer, if I made this connection static, then what will happen is, you click on insert. When you click on insert, what will happen? When you click on insert, first it will connect. After connecting, it will perform that insert operation on it. It will perform that insert operation. After performing insert operation, is that connection still available? Is that connection still available? Yes, it is still available. Then update object will directly use that connection. Delete object will directly use that connection. That means you don't need to connect every time. This is good if you are doing the work continuously. This is bad if you are not doing the work continuously. Why it is not bad? You logged into a bank application and you are not using for some time, then it will automatically sign out. Disconnect. If it is, suppose you are using Gmail, you logged into your Gmail, don't sign out, close the window, you are still signed in. Somebody else opens your PC and opens that Gmail in browser, your account will come. Yes or no? Is it safe? No. But it is good if you are using your PC. You don't need to sign in every time. Static is good and bad. Static is good when you want the operations continuous. Static is bad when you don't want continuous operations, because it uses more memory. It is not safe. Memory leaks may happen. That is the reason a developer will decide whether to use a static or non-static according to the situation. If I give this connection instead of static, if I give this connection dynamic, then what will happen? If I give that connection dynamic, then what will happen? After insert, when I click insert, it will connect. After connecting, insert. After inserting, it will automatically disconnect. It will disconnect. If I am performing update, then again it has to connect. Again it has to connect, and again it has to update, and after update disconnect. That means you are using a bank application. You are sending money to one person. So it will ask your transaction password. You entered, money sent to that person, then gone. You are sending money to the same person again. Again it will ask transaction password. Right? That means disconnected. You cannot keep them connected. It's not safe. It's not safe. That means a developer decides whether to use static or non-static. Without knowing this, you can't understand what is a static page or dynamic page. First, you should know the behavior of static and dynamic. What is static and dynamic? I hope everyone is clear with that point, right? Now you can understand what is a static page and a dynamic page. We will see with practical example how the static and dynamic pages work. That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. So tomorrow we are going to start designing of pages. We will learn about HTML basics now. How to design the pages, what is static and what is dynamic. Up to that point today, whatever I showed you, you have to try. That means create project, create folders, generate that package JSON file, put a index page, start that and try. And rest of the part, what to do, tomorrow we will discuss about that. Okay, right.